here, you are essentially jumping into breaking your bank.
You stay. I know it's late, but I'm feeling great, and you feel the same. So why don't you stay? I need you to stay.
Hey guys, it's Angie Rush here, or Angel, whatever works best for you. And if you have not seen my last video that was just posted a couple hours ago, it's explaining all about my new intro. How do y'all feel about a new intro? Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? I adore it, but we're not going to get into it because I already spoke on it all in my last video. So I was thinking of video ideas and what video to make. I started thinking about where I am right now, and I feel so blessed and so lucky that I'm in college. And I remember the fear of getting into college and if I was going to make it into college and what I wanted to do with my life after high school, because you're thrown into the big world. High school does not prepare you enough at all for college or anything. High school doesn't prepare you for anything. The real world at all. It does not prepare you for it at all. So you kind of have to learn that by yourself, and it gets really, really stressful and overwhelming. So I definitely remembered filming a video. If you guys don't know, I've been on YouTube forever, as long as I can remember. But I remember filming a video of when I felt so scared, and I realized that a lot of people, I mean every year of course, a lot of people are finishing high school and just a lot of us don't know what to do. Some of us are lucky enough and we know exactly what we want to jump into, but there's also some of us, like me, who don't know what they want to do with their life. I'm now in the spot where I know exactly where I want to be in my life and exactly what I want to do. I have so many different avenues of things I want to do personally, but there was a time when it wasn't like that. So I did want to do this video to show you that it does get better, and I just wanted to react to this video with you because I remember I haven't watched this video since I posted it. A lot of the times when I post my videos, especially when they're really personal and I'm crying in them, you won't catch me watching them again. I never will. So I'm excited, and I'm actually kind of scared to see this video and what's it all about, because I know I get pretty personal in it. And yeah, so that's why I'm onto the side a little bit so you can put the video here as we react together. But I'm very, very nervous because I know I probably went off in this video and I probably cried and I probably got emotional because I know those times were a little tough for me. It's 9 minutes and 39 seconds. Ah! Okay. Ah! I'm scared. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Hey guys, so I'm making a video, and it's rare for me to make a video looking like, actually it's not really rare for me to make videos about just showing my feelings. I miss these glasses. This is so raw, like so raw. Nothing's planned, nothing. I just like you guys know, I'm not good at talking to people, but when I like to reveal, like, kind of let out my feelings, I just let them out. I look like a burnt freaking sausage right now, but like, ignore that. No, you don't. This is a really raw video, and I know I look bad, but like, other than that, like, this is a real video, and I feel, at least I hope, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Yeah, so, basically, I don't even know what I'm gonna name this, but basically, I don't know what I'm gonna name this. So I'm paying for life insurance now, and I didn't realize how much it was gonna, like, trigger me. And I've talked about something kind of sort of like this in past videos. I am 17 and I turn 18 in about a month and 2 days. That's crazy. I'm 21. I'm nervous to turn 18. I know it's not like a big deal, but it just means you're an adult, so it freaks me out a little bit. No, it doesn't. It's like it kind of scares me. And because I'm still 21, I'm not. I was really signing up for, like, it was just giving me really bad anxiety because they were just talking about the future and post-secondary school and just all this. And I don't like talking about that. Oh my god, am I going to cry? How annoying. I don't like talking about that. I think it's really uncomfortable. I don't know what my future holds. I don't know. I just feel so, like, lost. I think I know what I want to do, but I just feel like I'm being pulled down. I feel like, and I'm in such a good place in my life, but I just feel so, like, I feel restricted. I feel dumb. I feel like I'm not worthy or good enough, if that makes sense. And I'm not doing this video for sympathy. This is just a video because I can't talk to people, so I feel
still
very
true.
uncomfortable talking to the camera about my feelings.
Still true.
If that makes, like, I don't know, it may not make any sense to a lot of people, but like this is the only thing I feel comfortable talking in front of. And after it, my parents wanted to talk, and they're like, we need to talk about the future, and we need to talk about, they want us to sign up for like scholarships and stuff, and we need to talk about like all this, and like that's the topic like my parents can never get me to talk about, because every time they want to talk about it, I avoid it. I just walk out of the room. I just cannot deal with talking about the future, because the future scares me and it makes me nervous. I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years. I don't know where my life is going to be. I don't know what's going to happen, and that's what scares me.
Oh.
Just like, it's unpredictable. Yeah, and I feel like my parents are just mad at me right now, because like, they've been wanting to talk to me all day, and I won't go downstairs because I do not want to talk, because it just makes me uncomfortable. It feels, I just don't like the topic.
It was let me talk a little bit. It was basically making me uncomfortable because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So this happened with, I'm sure a lot of your parents are like this too, but like your parents just want you to succeed. And it made me really anxious because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it gave me a lot of anxiety to be like, yo, if I don't know what I want to do, I'm not going to be successful. I'm stupid. Like, I'm worthless. Like, I'm not smart enough to go to college, this and that. Anyway.
It scares me. If I could avoid it. I would love to avoid it my whole life, but I know it's for the better, and they're doing it for me, and they have no harm. They just care about me. But for me, it's this big thing that I'm trying to avoid. I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying or I'm talking about, and I'm just gonna upload this right now. I'm just gonna upload it raw, whatever. But I kind of hope you guys get it a little bit. I'm just scared of the future. The future scares me. I don't know what it holds. I don't know where it's going to take me. And that's what scares me the most about it, because I don't know what I'm going into, it's just nervous. And I know some people are excited about the future, and some people are like this and that. But like, as a kid, it was fun and I was excited. But as I get older, I get more scared, because it's more real. Like, it's not games anymore. Like, this is my life I'm dealing with now, and it's not just like waking up, going to school. And since I've been done school, I think it scares me the most, because now it's more real. I'm out in the real world, and it just gives me mad anxiety. And if you guys can relate, please comment. Like, just talk to me. Let's have a conversation.
Still to this day, if you can.
God, it scares me. And I was talking to like my friend. She had her sisters, like, and her sister and her brother-in-law are like mentors or whatever. And they asked me to come sit with them for coffee or something like that, and I did. And they were just asking me, they're like,
that was a scam, by the way. My mom didn't let me do that for very long.
where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'm like, I want a family, I want to be married, I want to have a successful job, and those are the 3 things. And they're like, you can have more. And I'm like, it was just the most stressful talk, and I felt so uncomfortable, and I'm like, get me out of here. I don't like talking about this. This is too much for me. If I could just have if I could fast forward, have my job already, not even have to think about it, just have it set for me already, have my husband and have my children, and be successful, no debt, have my home, I'd be great. But like, I don't even know about that. I don't know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about.
You don't want to fast forward. The journey is the best part.
I was like, in 20 years, you'll be 38, and I don't want to think about that.
What?
This is just a rant video for myself, just to feel better, just to like release my feelings on the inside. And remember, it's not goodbye, but see you later.
Well, what about 4 years from now, Angel? This is kind of a message to myself and a message to all those other high school, college students who are afraid, because I understand. And I think the reason why we get so scared is we're scared of the unknown. And I also wanted to give some tips of how I kind of overcame that anxiety a little bit, because a lot of my anxiety stemmed from not knowing what I want to do with myself after after high school. So I took a year off, which I honestly recommend for a lot of people to take a year off, because I have a lot of friends who, actually I know a lot of people in general who jump into college because they just think that's the right thing to do, and they don't want to not be in college because they feel like they'll be judged. But just remember, when you're jumping into university or you're jumping into college, you are essentially jumping into breaking your bank. All these people that jump into college are usually switching their majors a lot, so that's more money being spent, and that's longer time in school. So I definitely recommend taking at least a year off and figuring out what you want to do. I took a year off and I worked my butt off. I made money. It was a great year off. I got to know myself. I partied. I got my first boyfriend. Met a bunch of new people. I really branched out and I met a lot of people, and I'm grateful for that time. I was just busting my ass with working. I was working 2 jobs or 3. 2 jobs, I think 3 jobs ended up being like in the summer. I would work summer camps. So like 2 to 3 jobs I was working. I just had to focus on paying my phone bill and paying my car bill. And that was it. I was living the life for that year, and I was just doing my thing. After the year passed, I kind of knew something of some type that I wanted to work with kids, but I didn't know to what extent. I knew for sure I didn't want to be a teacher, and I knew for sure I didn't want to work in a daycare for my whole life because I work in a daycare. So something that helped me, I went to like an upgrading school. Where I'm from, we have like an upgrading school that you go into to upgrade your marks so you can be accepted into that section in college. I upgraded, but I also focused on being in classes towards working with children, and I was able to actually go to a school and work with kids, which I loved, and it guided me to what I want to do. Piggybacking off of that, if you're not like going to upgrading schools, blah, 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 and it's not giving you those resources, I recommend volunteering. If you make a list of a couple things that interest you and call places and ask if you can volunteer, and that builds your horizon, has the wheels turning in your head of what you want to do. Remember, it's not a rush because this is your life and this is your career, and we want to be happy with the careers that we're doing. Correct? Correct. That is what I did. In the school we went to like an elementary school, and I loved it. In the school we went to, it was a school that worked with low-income families, and I loved anything. Even the daycare I worked at was a low-income family. It's a daycare, and I love even where I work now at a YMCA branch. It's a low-income families, and I love working with low-income families just because I relate to that. We were a low-income family, and I understand the struggle. I really feel for families, and I feel for those babies and those kids. That is something I knew I wanted, and I loved working with autistic kids, and I loved working with like ADHD kids or kids with learning disabilities. I have a learning disability, so I think I relate to that as well. And I loved working with kids who speak different languages, so they may be like delayed because they speak they're bilingual. So I loved that, and in this school it catered to those type of families, low income families like who have second languages, so their kids are delayed in some aspects. So when I volunteered, they put me in the youngest group of kids, which was like pre-K. So like there was 4-year-olds in there. There was, I think, maybe like 3-year-olds, 3, 4, 5, and then like this was like, if you were 3 and you were there, you would be in there until kindergarten. So you'd be building up and working with people, and what I loved and I gravitated towards was the speech pathologist who would come into the classrooms and work with these students, and that's when I was like, yo, that is what I want to do. I used to want to be an assistant speech pathologist, but when I saw like the main speech pathologist, I'm like, that is it. That is my calling. That is what I'm here for. Also, ask questions. Ask questions, y'all. If you see someone working a career that interests you, ask questions or Google it. I asked my questions. She was rude. She was just like, it's my master's. Yes, I went to school for 6 years. And I was like, let me not ask you, ma'am. She also was pregnant, so maybe she was like a little hormonal and moody that day, because she did look like she was about to pop. But I was just like, okay, onto that. Let me just ignore you and just watch your work. So I really love that. She would get like a couple of the kids sit at a table. She'd read a book to like the class, and then she'd also like have a bunch of different activities to work with the kids. And I fell in love with that. I personally want to work in a school, not in like a center. I want to work with children specifically. So I really really adored that. I loved that. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Also, a thing that a lot of people don't do, which I recommend you do, before you look at the pros of your job, look at the cons. Look at the cons, because when I was soul searching around for different jobs, one of the things that I was going to do is I was going to be a postpartum nurse because I love babies. But when you look at the cons, I don't want a job that affects my home life so deeply. So that's when I knew I didn't want to work in the hospital, because the con of the hospital is people passing away, and I am too, like, I'd be crying with them, and you're not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be strong for them. So I knew I couldn't survive working in a hospital. But I did want to be a postpartum nurse at one point. And then the cons, I was like, I heard of stories of moms slapping the nurse because they're in so much pain, or they're mad at the nurse and they're demanding. I've heard there's cons of the baby passing, which I can't be there for that. There's so many other cons, but make sure you're looking at cons so you know what you are getting into. It is very important for you to know what you're getting into before jumping into that career and spending your money on going to that in school. Those are like a couple tips I always give people. I'm like, volunteer at the places and look at the cons of the jobs. Look at the pros as well, but most importantly, look at the cons, because you don't want to be, and people are honest on Google, you don't want to be curved and be like, no one told me this about being this. Like, if I knew this, I would have not been in here. Because I just think your goal when going into college is not switching your major, because it's just a lot of money spent that you just don't want to do. So try your best that you know exactly. I know sometimes things change. You figure out if it's not for you. That's totally fine. But my personal main goal was like, you are going to college for this thing, and you are not switching your major. Also, make sure the thing that you're going into college for has a lot of jobs. Nursing, for example, they're always having people with jobs, but there's some places that you go and there's not a lot of jobs for them. So make sure your major, minor, whatever you're doing, you have a lot of jobs for it, or it's easy to get a job, because I feel for the people who study so long and they're like working forever to get jobs, because it's tough. But that is the reality. No matter what job it is, that is reality. Flashback to 17-year-old Angel being like, I don't want to know about 10 years, this and that. Or about 4 years, sis, because 4 years from that day, well, not 4 years from that day, but 4 years from that day, you are in your own apartment. You have moved to the States. I bet you didn't think about that. And get this, you finished the semester this year with all A's. So I think you're doing pretty damn good, and I don't think you have anything to worry about. To all my people who are worried, it's okay to be worried, and it's okay to have anxiety. I think that's normal. Take some time and really sit with yourself and be like, what is making me scared? What was making me scared was the unknown of the future. That is okay. That is an everyday thing that people are scared of. Now, since I have so much things I'm working towards, it is less scary, because the future, I'm like, I'm going to be successful regardless. I have so many different avenues of things that I want to do, and I'm so excited for them to prosper and grow. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really wanted to let this out. And I also want to say a big apology. I know it's not my fault, but I have to feel compassion and sympathy for those people who are missing their graduations, whether it is university, whether it's high school, whether it's your child's kindergarten graduation, all these great milestones. I am so sorry, and I hope they find some way to postpone that so you guys can celebrate that amazing moment. I know I'd feel some type of way if my freaking high school graduation got canceled, especially when I spent money on that dress. I would have felt some type of way. And also remember, this is coming from an essential worker. Your feelings are valid, and it is okay to be sad. Like, I see some people writing like, oh my gosh, I miss my grad, and then some people being like, okay, but there's people working, there's a pandemic, there's people passing. Of course, that's horrible. Everything that's happening right now is insane and is so freaking sad, but also know that your feelings are valid. And sometimes it's like saying, if you broke your right arm and you were like crying like, ow, I broke my arm, and someone was like, okay, but some people broke 2 arms, get over it.
it's like my feelings are valid because my arm still hurts. Like, you know what I mean? So just have some compassion in this world right now, because we definitely need it, and things are crazy, and I'm hoping they get better, because it is Mother's Day today, and this is the first Mother's Day I'm missing with my mom, because by now I should have been home right now, but it's rough right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. I landed it on a sad note. Let's let it back on a high note. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. How do you guys like my new intro? Because I love it. It involves, anyway, if you want to learn more about my intro, go watch my last video, because I could get into it. But thank you guys so much for watching again. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. I love you guys so much. Remember to be humble. And remember what? Self-love is the best love. And it's not goodbye. It's see you later. Bye, guys. Bye.